Beryl is a swordsman in his mid-40s who teaches swordsmanship at a small dojo in a countryside village. Though he is strong, he always sees himself as nothing more than an average swordsman. To make matters worse, his parents constantly pressure him to find a wife and give them grandchildren, which he finds endlessly frustrating. And then one day, he is visited by one of his former pupils, Alucia, who is now the commander of the Royal Order of Knights. Her visit brings a smile to Beryl's face, and he asks what brings her all the way out to the countryside. In response, she hands him an imperial order, official seal, attached, and explains that she has recommended him as a special instructor to the Royal Order, and that his appointment has already been approved. Much to Beryl's surprise, the order isn't a request, but it's a command. If he refuses, there will be serious consequences. Alucia then adds that a carriage is waiting outside and that they will be staying in the capital that night. Shocked, Beryl turns to his father, who simply smiles and says that the dojo is closed tomorrow anyway, so it won't interfere with his teaching schedule. He adds that while Beryl is in the capital, he might as well find himself a wife. Then, looking at Alucia, he casually asks, "How about her?" Angry, Beryl scolds his father, telling him to stop fooling around or he'll upset her, especially given the large age gap between them. Little does he know, Alucia blushes and doesn't seem to mind the idea at all. On the way to the capital, Beryl notices that Alucia is still using the sword he gave her years ago. He smiles and tells her he's happy that she still uses it, though he points out it might not be suitable for someone of her rank now. Alucia, however, refuses to part with it, saying the sword is perfect for her. She then excitedly tells him how happy she is that he'll be working in the capital. Now, everyone will finally get to know who he is. But Beryl doesn't share her excitement. He feels like he's too old to take on such an important role. When they arrive, Beryl is stunned by the size of the inn where he'll be spending the night. The next day, Alucia introduces Beryl to all the knights, proudly telling them how amazing he is. While some of the knights seem impressed, a few look displeased, and Beryl starts to feel the pressure. After the introduction, Alucia suggests that Beryl could instruct the knights 3 or 4 times a month, just enough to help them improve without interfering too much with his duties at the dojo. Just then, a knight named Kuroni approaches them. To Beryl's surprise, she turns out to be another one of his former students. Seeing how she has grown into such a fine knight fills Beryl with pride. That night, when Beryl returns home, he's surprised to find another former student, Randrid, waiting for him along with his wife and child. Randrid explains that he's decided to quit his job as an adventurer even though he's a platinum rank because he wants to settle down and raise his family in the village. After all, even though adventuring pays well, it's still a dangerous life. Hearing this, Beryl's father smiles and tells Beryl not to worry about the dojo anymore, as he's already convinced Randrid to take over as the new dojo master, so Beryl can focus on his new role in the capital. Then, with a teasing grin, he adds that Beryl shouldn't come back until he finds himself a wife. That last part makes Beryl angry. After all, this is also his house too. The next day, while Alucia is helping Beryl look for a place to stay in the capital, she suddenly suggests that he stay at her place instead. Beryl, of course, thinks she's only joking and quickly turns down the offer. As they continue walking and talking, they are suddenly stopped by an adventurer named Serena. She tries to provoke Alucia by mocking her, calling her a wimp for casually walking around town with a man despite being the commander of the Royal Order. To her surprise, when Serena looks at Beryl, she immediately recognizes him. It turns out she is also one of his former students. As a child, she had been taken in and taught swordsmanship by him. Seeing how well she turned out, Beryl smiles and explains the situation to her. After that, Alucia and Serena begin arguing over who would be the better person to help him find a place to stay in the capital. Eventually, they manage to find a place for Beryl to stay. Later, at the training hall, Alucia announces to all of the knights there that Beryl will be instructing them today. A guy named Henblitz, who is the vice commander, then steps forward and challenges Beryl, saying he needs to prove how skilled he really is before taking on the role. Alucia agrees, thinking it's a great opportunity for Beryl to show off his skills too. Beryl, however, doesn't see it that way. He just hopes he won't embarrass himself too badly when he loses. As the battle begins, Henblitz comes at Beryl with full force. All the knights watching assume Beryl is going to lose, but to their surprise, he manages to block every strike. Frustrated, Henblitz unleashes his signature move, but Beryl dodges it with ease. Impressed, Henblitz quickly changes his attitude toward Beryl. He apologizes and expresses his respect. From that moment on, he looks forward to working with Beryl. Meanwhile, back in the village, Beryl's father is happy that his son finally left, believing Beryl is meant for greater things than staying in this small village. Hearing this, Randred agrees. After all, in all his years as an adventurer, he has never met a better swordsman than Beryl. A month had passed since Beryl began teaching swordsmanship in the capital, and everything had been going smoothly. Then one day, Karuni came to visit him and offered to show him around the capital, which Beryl gladly accepted. At the same time, Alucia was attending a meeting with the higher-ups. They asked if Beryl had lived up to expectations as an instructor, and she assured them that he had exceeded them. After the meeting, Alucia walked through the mansion, reflecting on the first time she met Beryl. Back then, her parents had entrusted her to him to learn swordsmanship. At first, Alucia had been afraid, but thanks to Beryl, the training quickly became something she enjoyed. He always explained things patiently and carefully. After a year and a half, the sword began to feel natural in her hands. But the best part of training with Beryl was how he always praised her, even for the smallest improvements. That praise made her genuinely happy. Seeing how effective his teaching was, Alucia once believed that every sword instructor could do what he did, only to later realize how rare his talent truly was. During a joint training session at another dojo, they held a friendly duel contest, and every student from Beryl's dojo easily defeated their opponents. This made Alucia wonder, was their dojo actually far stronger than she had thought? But Beryl denied it and told her to focus on what she gained rather than whether she won or lost, which Alucia reluctantly agreed with. As they talked, Alucia realized she had left something behind and decided to return to the other dojo alone to retrieve it. However, as soon as she arrived, she was immediately surrounded by the students she had defeated earlier. Furious and seeking revenge, they raised their swords against her. Luckily, Beryl arrived just in time and blocked the attack with his own body. Without hesitation, he pushed his way through, blocking every strike aimed at him with effortless precision, and picked up the item Alucia had forgotten. This only made the other students angrier, and they prepared to attack again, until their master intervened and then quickly apologized to Beryl for his students' behavior. But Beryl simply told him it was all right. On the way back, Alucia apologized to Beryl for him getting hurt because of her. But Beryl reassured her that it wasn't her fault. He should have gone with her from the beginning. What mattered most to him was that she wasn't hurt. Hearing this made Alucia start to cry. A few months passed, and Alucia had a duel with Beryl as part of a final test. She passed, and as a result, Beryl gave her a sword and told her he had nothing left to teach her. This shocked Alucia, but she accepted it, not wanting to trouble Beryl any further, especially since she knew she was still nowhere near his level in swordsmanship. After that, she became determined to prove that Beryl's swordsmanship was second to none. She took the exam to join the Royal Order and steadily climbed the ranks. Her goal was clear. She couldn't leave Beryl in obscurity. She wanted him to be recognized for his skill, so she rose through the ranks and eventually became a commander. By the time she had the authority to appoint an instructor herself, 10 years had passed since she left the dojo. But to her surprise, Beryl had grown even stronger than before. Back at the present, Alucia come to check for Beryl, only to be told that he is not here as Karuni has come and take him to show him around the capital. Hearing this make Alucia kinda sad because she wants to be the one to do that. Meanwhile, as Karuni is showing Beryl around the city, they run into a girl named Feis, who turns out to be another one of Beryl's former students. However, he doesn't recognize her at all until she shows him the sword he once gave her, which clearly annoys her. Apparently, she is now the star of the Magic Corps, which leaves Beryl a bit confused since all he ever taught her was swordsmanship. He then asks her what she's doing in the city, and she explains that she came to shop for magical accessories because, as it turns out, she's a wizard, one of the few in the entire kingdom. As they talk, they notice a thief nearby trying to escape. Without hesitation, Ficelle uses her swordsmanship, infused with magic, to swiftly catch the thief, leaving Beryl both impressed and proud of her. The next day, Beryl woke up early and strolled around the city. That's when he ran into a girl named Lucy. At first, he mistook her for a lost child, which immediately annoyed her. To prove herself, she demonstrated her abilities, revealing that she was actually the commander of the Magic Corps of the Liberis Kingdom. She then told him to follow her. It turned out that she had heard from Ficelle that her former swordmaster was in the city. Ficelle had sounded so excited when talking about him that Lucy decided to check it out for herself. As they talked, Beryl realized they had entered a fighting area. Lucy then smiled and explained that she had spent every day honing her skills and preparing for this very moment, to challenge a strong opponent and see how much she had improved. Without warning, she launched an attack on Beryl, leaving him no choice but to fight back. If you come this far, please consider liking and subscribing for more videos like this. Thank you.